He lives close to the street. He knows. The other two don't.
Hey there, folks. Wow, it wasn't really supposed to do that. It's supposed to kind of be a better picture. But anyway, I'll let it go with that. I am going to read to you from Wikipedia, from the Notorious B.I.G.'s page on Wikipedia, because yesterday was the, 15-year... 15-year anniversary since his death. And he's trending right now as far as Yahoo is concerned, and so I figured I would read to you some of the stuff from the Wikipedia page, which is quite lengthy. So I'm just going to read it in sections and take a break and then read again, and maybe I'll, But anyway, today's March 10th. It's trending today, and number one trending as far as Yahoo is concerned, so I figured, you know what? Sometimes I like to read stories about what's trending on Yahoo. That way I can maybe, get some views for having mentioned something important for once. Anyway, Christopher George Latour Wallace, May 21, 1972 to March 9, 1997. Best known as the Notorious B.I.G., was an American rapper. He was also known as Biggie Smalls after a character in the 1975 film Let's Do It Again, Big Papa and the Black Frank White, after the main character of the 1990 film King of New York. Wallace was raised in the Brooklyn borough of New York City. When Wallace released his debut album, Ready to Die, in 1994, he became a central figure in the East Coast hip-hop scene and increased New York's visibility at a time when West Coast artists were more prominent in the mainstream. The following year, Wallace led his childhood friends to start success through his protege group, Junior Mafia. While recording his second album, Wallace was heavily involved in the East Coast-West Coast hip-hop feud, dominating the scene at the time. On March 9, 1997, Wallace was killed by an unknown assailant in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. His double disc set, Life After Death, released 15 days later, hit number 1 on the U.S. album charts, and was certified diamond in 2000, one of the few hip-hop albums to receive this certification. Wallace was noted for his loose, easy flow, dark, semi-autobiographical lyrics, and storytelling abilities. Since his death, a further 2 albums have been released. MTV ranked him at number 3 on their list of the greatest MC rappers of all time. He has certified sales of 17 million units in the United States. And we will move on to his early life in a little while.
They'll go at it until Dee Dee gets hurt and runs.
He bites down.
Are you seeing the cat actually bites her like you can see?
Hey there, so continuing on with reading about the Notorious B.I.G. from Wikipedia, we look at his early life. Born in St. Mary's Hospital, despite later claiming to be raised in the Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn, Wallace grew up in neighboring Clinton Hill. Wallace was the only child of Voletta Wallace, a Jamaican preschool teacher, and George Latour, a welder and small-time Jamaican politician. His father left the family when Wallace was 2 years old, leaving his mother to work 2 jobs while raising him. At the Queen of All Saints Middle School, Wallace excelled in class, winning several medals as an English student. His name was big because of his size before he turned 10. At the age of 12, he began selling drugs. His mother, often away at work, did not know that her son was selling drugs until Wallace was an adult. At his request, Wallace transferred out of the private Roman Catholic Bishop Laughlin Memorial High School to attend the state-funded George Westinghouse Career and Technical Education High School. Jay-Z and Busta Rhymes were also students at that school. According to his mother, Wallace was still a good student, but developed a smart-ass attitude at the new school. At 17, Wallace dropped out of high school and became further involved in crime. In 1989, he was arrested on weapons charges in Brooklyn and sentenced to 5 years probation. In 1990, he was arrested on a violation of his probation. A year later, Wallace was arrested in North Carolina for dealing crack cocaine. He spent 9 months behind bars until he made bail. Continue on with a look at Biggie Smalls. For his rapping career, Wallace began rapping when he was a teenager. He would entertain people on the streets as well as perform with local groups, the Old Gold Brothers and the Techniques. After being released from prison, Wallace made a demo tape under the name Biggie Smalls, a reference to his childhood nickname and to his stature. He stood at 6'3" and weighed as much as 300 to 380 pounds according to differing accounts. The tape was reportedly made with no serious intent of getting a recording deal, but was promoted by New York-based DJ Mr. C, who had previously worked with Big Daddy Kane and was heard by the editor of The Source. In March 1992, Wallace featured in The Source's unsigned hype column dedicated to aspiring rappers, and was invited to produce a recording with other unsigned artists in a move that was reportedly uncommon at the time. The demo tape was heard by Uptown Records A&R and record producer Sean Combs, who arranged for a meeting with Wallace. He was signed to Uptown immediately and made an appearance on label mates Heavy D and the Boys, A Bunch of Niggas from the album Blue Funk. Soon after signing his recording contract, Combs was fired from Uptown and started a new label. Wallace followed, and in mid-1992 signed to Combs' new imprint label, Bad Boy Records. On August 8, 1993, Wallace's longtime girlfriend gave birth to his first child, Tiana. Wallace continued selling drugs after the birth to support his daughter financially. Once Combs discovered this, he was made to quit. Wallace gained exposure later in the year on a remix to Mary J. Blige's Real Love under the pseudonym The Notorious B.I.G., the name he would record under for the remainder of his career, after finding the original moniker Biggie Smalls was already in use. Real Love peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and was followed by a remix of Blige's What's the 411. He continued this success to a lesser extent on remixes with Nena Cherry and reggae artist Supercat. In April of 1993, his solo track Party... Oh, I'm going to have to finish reading this some other time.